alongside Wildcard. So do I hope SSG will win? Yes, because I love Ashen and I love this team. But Sam, I'm gonna keep it real. I think Wildcard had this one in the bag.
That's a little worrisome, isn't it? Especially after what we saw earlier on in the stage out of SSG, getting handed the worst spanking out of the entire stage. It's definitely not something that you want in your corner, but it's something that they can fix right here, right now, actually, Lynx. I mean, you might have some doubters, but if you take out the king of the castle, not a lot of people are going to be talking about you at that moment in time, are they? You can kind of see the hype, the excitement being built up around this. Even for Forrest, he's taking the chains off right now, folks. He's breaking loose. He's ready for combat, and so are we. We're one ban away from getting in here on our second cafe of the day between you and I, Lynx.
Did Ashen lower his camera angle?
Did Ashen lower his camera angle? Let me see here.
I'm such a loser.
Tiny bit.
I'm such a loser. I was about.
You are for knowing that, and also just putting on full display my ADHD and the fact that I didn't even like think about that. But then when I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, it's totally different.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, obviously, you know, like Geo, we got the origami crane centered right. Like I got all these indicators. I'm like, Ashen, little lower, about 30 degrees below the x-axis.
He wanted to make sure that Wildcard could see the pecs. Just get a little terrified, a little quake in the boots.
You don't understand. When I when Ashen was underage, he was like this scrawny 16-year-old, and then all of a sudden, like, he's 18 and like is way more ripped than I am. The gym arc has been crazy for Ashen this past year.
Yeah, trend goes crazy.
Gotta give credit's due. Packer too, actually. Packer's also been hitting the gym. By the way, fun fact, guys. Jesse was talking about how cool Packer was. If you're not dialed into the T2 scene, Packer and his team, technically Karn's team that Packer was on, Karn & Co., they won Element 1. He played the vast majority of that league with a broken arm. With a broken arm. You need to understand the kind of player Packer is. And the highlights do one thing, that does another.
Yeah, for lack of a better term, that's pretty badass.
That's pretty sick. Yeah. I could have played Transformers Fall of Cybertron with a broken arm, and Packer's out here winning leagues.
He's out here taking it to competitive players, people that do this every single day and get paid for a living to do so. He decided, well, I'll just do it with a broken arm, why not? And it worked out for him. Can't say that about a lot of people, can you? But you can about him. So, Wildcard are going to be adopting the offensive side here first on Cafe. And inside of our last bout, it was a pretty hotly contested Lynx, but the defense was definitely the one that came to bear the most fruit throughout the map.
Most definitely, and tends to be the case on Cafe, especially when operators like Mira are up, which he is in this matchup as well, but SSG deciding not to make that too big a part of their strategy. Instead, keeping it a little looser, bringing the Solus instead, having the Fenrir as well to shut down some specific entrances and angles. So, yeah, Wildcard decided to deal with that as this team has played pretty fast and loose over the course of the NAL so far, and they've sprinted all the way to the top, only just today losing their first place spot to M80. And overall, I mean, what else can you say other than just some incredible play that we've seen from the new roster inside of the NAL. How they'll deal with some of this SSG players, that's to be seen. Packer on that buck, looking to maybe find this Solus downstairs in reading. It's now been droned out. Packer's got a lot of angles looking at this exact position. Multiple players coming on in. Fultz just flicked on a hot and cold, actually, by the way, but didn't end up killing him. Packer finds Fultz hot and cold down too. SSG's roam dismantled with basically no fight.
Bomb located by attackers.
Really no response, and kind of difficult to have one at the end of the day, right? It was perfectly timed.
Holy.
Spirits, where are you? Easy, where is Spirits? Where is this man? What has he done?
I think this is about to be a career Ashen run, if you ask me.
He's in the site. He's inside. He's in your walls.
We don't know if he got. We don't know. All right. Well, that's a flawless round from Wildcard to start out. So you guys remember how I said that I thought this might be a good stylistic matchup for Wildcard against SSG? I was actually talking about that. That's exactly what I was talking about.
No, it's so funny because our spectator was just like, man, this is some crazy stuff, and I completely agree with you, Easy. It's wild to try and keep track of all of this and just how chaotic it is. Spirits is all of a sudden in on the bakery side, and he's making mincemeat of the entirety of the site. Lynx, he walks into the site.
I mean, honestly,
kills people.
I mean, honestly, Sam, one of the coolest parts about Fall of Cybertron was the fact that you could transform into like a gigantic jet. It was really, really fun. It was super cool. Love that game. Love that game.
You know, speaking of Transformers games, one of the greatest Transformer games of all time on the Nintendo DS. Used to play it all the time, man. Optimus Prime on that thing could shoot rockets out of his back like you were playing Armored Core. It was so sick.
Oh, I need to play that actually. I need to play Armored Core. Anyway,
The
by
new
the way,
one, speaking of while we're off
that's
topic,
what I'm talking about.
badass, man. If you guys haven't played it and you're looking for a game and you like From Software, before we get back into this, play that game, guys. Really fun, 10 out of 10. That's the Stokes review.
5 seconds
Well,
left.
either way, we might be doing a lot of talking about random nonsense over the course of this game. If Wildcard have more rounds in store like that, I mean, there's literally really not much to talk about for what we saw.
What do you want to say, right?
Saw,
Hey,
well,
Spears walk inside and kill 3 people.
Well,
right?
that's the. Hey, no, he killed 2 people. Well, did he kill Ashen?
Looks over to the right. Oh.
But either way, the point I'm making is right is like SSG had like a setup, which is literally true, and then Wildcard just walked in and killed all of them. Like, is that highbrow analysis? No, but like, what else do you want me to say? Packer opened up the hole at this particular angle, and then 2 people were in reading, and then no longer in reading the next second. Wildcard did a very good job at attacking that initial bomb site, and now we'll see how they go trying their hand at the 2nd floor this go around. No Solus this time for SSG. Still a lot of utility though that will be looking Wildcard in the face as they're pushing on in. The castle barricades and the mirror windows especially, but Fultz in a very forward position inside of the Humidor. And I think Wildcard will look to focus all their pressure on that position as quick as they can.
We saw how quickly the team play worked its way through the last time. Merc,
There you go.
the very first kill, and he's going to kill his
So good.
old-time duo. Fultz will go down. These two have
That's
been
true.
on teams, off teams, competitors, friends, everything under the sun. And this time around, it will be Merc delivering the death nail to Fultz in this iteration.
Drone activated.
Ooh, very quick spray by Ashen. Does find Merc, so no organized Chaos members to play in this round, unfortunately. 4v4. And still the upstairs held tight by SSG over on the cocktail side, but this is mining and dining, and as we saw during the Mirage game, you don't need to take the entire control of that top floor to win, and Spirits has that idea firmly implanted in his head. Sees the player playing inside a reading, and so does Hot and Cold, the very player Spirits is shooting at. Twitch now forced to back off. No lurk on White Stairs working out just yet. Surf using that skeleton key to open up the holes down into mining itself. This is where we see Wildcard making the firm decision at this point. They are not pushing the entire 3rd floor control. They are perfectly content with the control they have at the moment and are only going for a half clear. Now it's on SSG and specifically players like Ashen to go for a retake to try to stop this attack from gaining any further progress.
You gotta be worried, especially because Wildcard. There's a plant going down. Oh no! Misposition of the scope from Adam. It'll go unchecked, but at least the plant will go down. They'll maintain this. They'll lose the planter and the likes of Packer. 2 versus 4 now with Spirits rotating his way through, and a huge 2K from him. A little bit more to do here, but this is definitely feasible now, Lynx, especially with the positioning here. They think they know. They think they have the coverage. It'll be up to Spirits. It's going to have to be a quad for him here. He's got the background noise covered. He's got the one in the hallway, too. Back and forth they go. Very minimal time remaining. Hot and Cold halfway through the defuse, but J90 slips through the cracks. Not only that, but it's going to be the super story that ends the round, Lynx. An amazing find from Space Station, and they will elongate this game, making things a little bit easier for themselves. They'll tie it up 1-1 before Wildcard can get this ball rolling.
And thankfully, after the first round, I am now confident we at least have, in this first half, a game on our hands. Very, very good retake from Space Station right there, as Wildcard had a very clear picture for what they wanted. All right, we see the Humidor. We see the mute plant inside of it. Let's deal with that guy first. Great, he's dead. Let's move on. All right, what do we want now? It's mining and dining? All right, let's just get a plant down inside of mining. What do we need to do that? Clear out Christmas? Solid. SSG see all that. They don't deny that control initially, but because of those long angles they have set up on the top floor, they're able to take down the players sitting up there, except Surf hiding behind the ticket bar. And that's where I think the round really got finished for SSG, because J90 doesn't check it completely, but is aware of it at least. So when Surf peeks up, he flicks, shuts it down, and at that point, the retake is pretty much won for SSG. So very good comeback. And hopefully, given that round, will not be the stomp that round 1 might have indicated we would be in store for.
Seems like SSG might have some stuff in the arsenal to see how the rest of these rounds go. But as of right now, releasing the good graces of everybody at home watching. Keep things competitive as of now. Spirit's going to be adding some nice holes here inside of dining. Nice little cross you can make. Something that was a little bit difficult, you know, throughout the history of Siege when it came down to it, because of the caliber-based destruction not being as bold as it is now with the DMRs, but makes it to where you can clear out that nice angle for 90 down low. Rotations and all that kind of stuff can get headed off for him here for like the first minute. Gonna send everything else up the top floor, start breaking up some of these hatches and start transferring this into more of a top clear and info game. See what they have built up on this mid-level.
Nice camera pickup by Adam right there. Able to hold the flank down in the red hallway if they so choose. A lot of different gadgets able to pick up with these clutch drones. Might not necessarily be directly aiding the top floor clear that's also going on while all this is happening, but it certainly make the later round a lot easier. Okay. Kind of unnecessary right there. Spirit's just shooting the very drone that Adam hacked, but hey, whatever, that's fine. Now we're sure the Fenrir is not there. Force spotted down below inside of the train and, well, very quickly dealt with. Right as he threw a C4 underneath the feet of a Wildcard attacker, but Spirits make sure he doesn't have time to detonate it. Now Wildcard can start fully focusing on this top floor, either clearing out or holding these angles. It appears right now, maybe another half clear is in mind.
We're gonna have to at least deal with mining here. Hot and cold might be the answer to this. What a shot. Take down Merc. Call it a nice little 9-iron there. Not the driver. Nice little chipper. Take out that first kill. Able to equalize here for them as they did lose Forrest earlier on. He not really able to find his stride just yet, but as we know about Forrest, it really just takes one big round from him. It's really not the KD you're looking at when you're looking at Forrest. You're looking at that play style and just how wicked he can be in some of these clutch moments, or once it gets off into the ether inside of the late round. Now, speaking of that, we're almost there. And yes, indeed, we are going to get that action. Wildcard actually getting sent to the Wolves. SSG eviscerating them at every single corner. It's down to Adam now as he's found his way into dining, been able to manage his life as of now, but doesn't seem like he'll be able to manage it too much longer. Ashen shows up yet again for Space Station, and he'll claim the very last kill.
Now, a good string of defenses all in a row for Space Station, able to win both second floor bomb sites, actually. Now we'll see a shift either up or down below for Space Station. And just a similar method between the two as well. Have positions on Cocktail, inside at the bomb sites, around the middle floor. Holding it down, not trying to fight the attackers too much inside of Christmas or fighting for that control. And just playing their positions. Honestly, similar to a lot of what we saw from Mirage, and in rounds 2 and 3 met similar success when Hot and Cold's just sitting in pillar. Bam, down goes the red player. When the other players are sitting inside of the site, once Wildcard go into push, they're shut down pretty effectively. So I predicted a very unfavorable stylistic matchup between Wildcard and SSG, but I have to say, aside from round 1, SSG have done a pretty good job at making sure Wildcard just can't walk into sight, take control for free, or get any easy picks beyond maybe 1 or 2 early on.
It feels like they had a really good understanding of what caused round 1's downfall, right? And it really just came down to the picks and their attention span towards the back end of the play. Once they started really paying attention towards the white, that allowed Spirits to work his way in. Nobody really covering anything on that end. They thought that all of the WC members and really the WC play was going to be coming in from the white stairs, and obviously not the case. But these last 2 rounds, Lynx, they've done a much better job of keeping things close to the chest, keeping things coordinated and strategized, and it's working out extremely well for them. It's made it to where Wildcard aren't able to garner map control in the same way. They're losing out on some of these earlier engagements, and also, you know, it is still getting down to low time, but Wildcard don't have the same foothold inside of that time span now either, due to the fact that SSG are not only able to obviously keep that man count up, but back to that original statement, map control and the way that they're able to shut down Wildcard as of right now from gathering these pieces that they so desperately want.
Very good pickup by Hot and Cold. Having a good last couple rounds, I will say, especially now, whereas before Wildcard have been able to get the opening pick decently often in the past 3. Now SSG start off with a 5v4. Nobody from Wildcard in a position to trade that back, though Merc is in a position to get a kill maybe next 15 to 20 seconds or so. Worked himself into dining, where Forrest is just across the hallway in the next room over. Drone following suit will spot that Jaeger
Attackers have
inside a
located a
reading.
bomb.
Murph not too worried about it right now. Instead knows someone's inside a freezer. Great read on the player upstairs. But Hot and Cold still gone completely unread. Both kills for SSG due to that P90 and SMG11 combo. And everyone from Wildcard left picking up the pieces whenever Hot and Cold walks through.
Well, so far, not so good for Wildcard. We had that first great round, but past that, it's been the Spirit show. Hasn't been able to really do too much past that first one either. Maybe the swing in for Heaven. Adam waiting. He is supposed to pop this EE1D. They only have 3 alive here, Link, so it's starting to feel more like a window play, but after Packer backs off of that, they might be reassessing this, and honest to God, I really didn't like that in the first place if they were going to go for something like that. Everybody's just isolated by themselves, and that's not exactly what you want. You want something like this where Adam can assist with the door on the swing, but he's also got to worry about the trash area too. It's just such a murky mess right now, but somehow Wildcard are working their way through the thick of it. Spirit's got one, Packers got the other. SSG, they're losing full right now. They're going to try and reassess the top floor, send it back up sky high on the white stairwell, losing a body. They'll put J90 down to the 1 versus 3, make it a 1 versus 2, but he won't live too long, will he? Gonna be Wildcard's round there, although it really looked like Space Station had successfully boxed them out.
And they very much had successfully boxed them out at that point. We have a very different round on our hands. If Spirits does not win that 1v1 as he repels into the cocktail balcony window, at that point, Wildcard are in a 3v4. SSG have been able to maintain the man advantage when Wildcard still decide to go in for an execute. And often we'll see teams, when they are attacking that cocktail position, bet it all on that player repelling into cocktail, winning that 1v1. But if Spirits loses that there, not only do you lose that position, but Spirits has been the main guy getting kills for Wildcard so far. 6-2 when that round started, getting 3 kills by the time that round ended. But if he loses that fight, not only is Wildcard losing a big player, they now don't have somebody applying pressure to SSG on the cocktail side. They just have to push in a 2v4 up through Cigar, up through the doorway into Long Bar without that two-sided pressure that ended up tripping SSG up. So big shout out to Spirits on Wildcard, as especially in round 4, he's been the guy to open it up and keep Wildcard in the fight.
Well, 2-2 now in between these two, and I mean, I just got to say it, Lynx. You said it at the very start of this game. You thought it was going to be a stylistic bout in between these two. And honestly, that's exactly what it's been. We've been getting some hot and heavy mechanics out of Wildcard and that sound, cool, calm, and collected strategy out of Space Station. And honestly, I'm here for it. It's been a lot of fun so far between these two. Some of it obviously been a little bit more high-flying than other moments, but it feels as though this could definitely be a cafe that goes the full distance, doesn't it?
I would hope so, especially given, again, the stakes going on. Maybe not much for Wildcard, but for SSG, a team that, given the players, given the org's reputation, finding themselves in this position in the stage where they are fighting for not just, you know, a decider position in general, but the last spot to make it into playoffs, to be forced to play through the bracket, the open qualifiers, not the spot you want to be in. These past couple rounds have proven they're still here to fight. I mean, even the results they've had is, I think, the team with the most overtime games, let alone overtime losses. SSG, they might be in a tough spot, but they have clawed their way for what they've had so far and been so close to being in a dramatically different position. Speaking of hot and cold, bullets colliding through windows, through the wall, and his somehow land despite 3 different sprays all intersecting around him. Might just go for the run out with a flashbang, shut down his position. That doesn't stop it. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a goddamn about your flashbangs. He'll throw the impact grenade, but has put himself to 1 HP. At this point, he's just trying best to stall out time. Gotta say, I was hoping for a lot more from that run out, but hey, at least he died with style.
Oh, man. Died a soldier's death on that one, fighting for every single inch of that balcony. Could not find the man right around the AC unit, but even though Wildcard do have the man advantage right now, Lynx, they are tattered when it comes to their HP bars. The good news for Surf is that he is a 3 armor, so technically he's got a little extra HP in that back pocket. Probably take some extra shots in comparison to some of his companions at the moment, especially for Packers' sake. But oh my, that is probably the worst thing that you could have happen to you. You're gonna lose your Lion. It's a 3 versus 3, and Ashen, he's starting to heat up. Remember, Packer, he's got no HP. Anybody breathes on this man, he's dead to rights. It's really up to Surf to try and get something going here. I think he's trying to get rid of a Tom's blocker down there.
No, that's I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is. To be perfectly honest, is that a guy? Is that a dude? Yeah, that's full. That's full. He's trying to shoot the shotgun barrel. Hey, I appreciate Surf trying, but unfortunately, you're gonna have to face that shotgun one way or another. You're not gonna be able to cheat your way around it. Fultz brings the pain to Packer. Surf's really wishing that shotgun had hitbox right now, but it does not. He does find Asham. That's a 3K for the new pickup on SSG. They take the lead again.
The timing on that shotgun kill was impeccable. That was so perfect for that build up. Oh yeah, he's gonna have to face the shotgun. Thump. Oh man, so unfortunate for Wildcard. And honestly, I think that them trying to get that shot right over the top of the bomb chassis onto Fultz perfectly displays how this is went for them on a round-to-round basis up against Space Station right now. They are millimeters. Actual millimeters away from getting some of these rounds, and they cannot get it across the line. Space Station have been able to reconcile all of the issues that Wildcard have been throwing their way and deal with them with flying colors. And not only that, but also through some creative means like hot and cold, spraying that man down to the wall and then choosing to come party outside for about 10 to 15 seconds.
This is just absurd. Like what is it? And the dude, they can't even, the dude outside doesn't even kill him. They get somebody inside the map to go play cleanup duty outside the mining window. We really dedicated a replay to Surf trying to shoot a shotgun. That's just foul. That's foul, honestly. No need to show the man shame. I mean, listen, I appreciate the effort, but you can't shoot the shotgun, unfortunately. Anyway, round 6. SSG looking for that 4-2 half, which would be exactly where they want to be going into the side swap on Cafe. Given their performance so far, Wildcard might have had a very, very strong start, as strong as you can get in Rainbow Six. But even their other round victory looked a little shaky and relied on a big play from Spirits to open things up. And then every other round, it's really been SSG's game to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. Wildcard kind of routinely just going back to the same bag, you know? Get that utility game going, get things set up, but then when it comes down to the true gunfights, that's where they're starting to run into the problems now. Space Station was willing to kind of play a slow game in those first rounds, and that's what's gotten them punished. Now they're fighting fire with fire. When Wildcard wants to make their entries, they're there to try and head it off. They want to try and take those engagements and see if they can come out on top instead. And as we've seen so far, really, really good. So for Space Station, that's more than likely going to be the game plan continuously throughout this, especially on this mid-4 defense. You can see they've built stuff up upstairs. They got some nice mirror window placement as well as some breakage and a few of these soft walls around this top floor make things a little bit easier. And literally every drone that we have accessed, I think, actually, no. We might actually be bugged out here. I don't know. I don't know if we're rolling through drones. I don't know if we're... There we go. Okay. My goodness gracious. It was like an old TV there for a second.
I was like, I don't think there's been a spectator bug in a while, because it used to be like mute sound bug, drone bug that you get stuck on. I was like, are we gonna have another one? It's been like a couple years.
Better start knocking on wood right now. All the devs are gonna be very mad at you.
I'm sorry, Stefan. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
Oh, especially Stefan, man. He's got to deal with every single one of those things anytime they happen. So you always got to feel for the spectators. Little damage coming through onto Space Station, but Ashen. The timing, he finds Merc, the one man you don't want to die on Wildcard, the one that can always provide a round for you. But fortunately enough, Wildcard have built themselves around him. The trade game, it's going to continue back and forth. This carousel of chaos between these two. Space Station will keep more players. I was going to finish that with on the ride, but we're going to end up equalizing that, aren't we?
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
I gotta say, very, very good looking Cafe so far from SSG. Now, to be fair, and they played against LG, they did get that 4-2 half, but still ended up going to overtime, still ended up losing. But these defenses still looking as solid as they did all the way back on their first play day just a couple days ago. Wildcard struggling to have an answer for it, especially with SSG's trade game. Janano makes the cross successfully into Laundry. Now can test the reading doorway. Pop goes the Weasel. 1v3 for Wildcard now. Surf no kills so far. Anyone he get here might just be impactless. There goes the Mira, but there goes SSG. 4-2 half achieved. Now let's see what they can do on their attacks.
And, I mean, to be frank, Lynx, It was not looking hot off rip, was it? It was
No.
looking like Wildcard was going to take it to Space Station, and there wasn't a snowball's chance in hell that they were going to make it through it. Going to be a full meltdown of Space Station, but obviously not. They found themselves in the moment, and not only that, they've been able to muster a very convincing, I would say, defensive half here on Cafe to take it 4-2. And present a lot of issues to Wildcard. Something that we've seen out throughout this entire stage was their ability to clear out maps, take gunfights as a unit, and give the defense a lot of grief when it comes down to it. That is not stuff that we saw replicated on this offensive side.
No, not at all. And I will say there is definitely on the side of Wildcard some poor performances so far. I mean, Surf just getting his first kill in that last round. Merc also having a pretty quiet day so far when he alone has taken over games in the past. And Packer Adam doing fine. Spirits being the main guy putting up numbers, but this could very well be a 5-1 half for SSG if all the way back in round 4,
10 seconds left
if they just win a 1v1 against Spirits, that'd be a 2v4 and much different odds than when Spirits repelled into Cocktail Balcony and ended up getting that kill. So SSG, again, might just be one round, but this has still been a defensive half that really, again, outside of that first one, it's been all of them in every single round. Now with the side swap, let's see if Wildcard can maybe start getting aggressive on their defenses and stall out against SSG. This has been a very slow team, especially on the attacks inside of the NAL. So Wildcard, even if their instinct is to start getting aggressive and taking fights, maybe just delaying a little bit of time with utility might be enough and not even necessitate a gunfight.
Back to square one for both of these teams on their respective sides. Obviously, SSG will have the round lead as we switch sides, but all of them now having to assess things from a completely different viewpoint. Space Station will be adopting the east side of things into their play. Bolts over here on white top for now. We're trying to break up the window just a tad bit, and this angle is so dastardly. One of my favorites when it comes to Cafe. You can not only make it to where people can't really rotate up white as safely as they once could, but also with some proper angle work, whether it be from the AC unit out there or repelled, even better. You can get some crazy angles, partially down the hallway or completely down that hall, to try and deal with things like Pixel or players rotating away from the bathroom. So a good spot for SSG to start off and try and hold on to for some time, and also allow them to play around the cocktail windows, which is always annoying when you're a defender in that area.
Adam getting a couple ideas, sees that air jab outside of the snow door. Merc gets that first kill, though. Talked about a player who was quiet on that attacking half. He's able to start things off very good onto the top-performing player on SSG right now, Ashen. So very good pickup from him. Maybe if he starts heating up, Wildcard's fortunes will shift very, very favorably in their direction. SSG also now moving and rotating a little slowly, but still a decent time on the clock, but with a disadvantage. Two players now drop down into the humidor, but it's a minute left. That player's long gone. That player's rotated. Spirits might be shut down, but he's picked up faults before being finished off, so he keeps the advantage in Wildcard's favor, and it's solidified by Adam with the P90. Now forced down, and both attacking players on opposite sides. Jaina, no, you gotta channel Spirits, get the kill on this cocktail balcony. He's made it in, but can he make it out alive? No, he can't. Both halves start for a flawless round for Wildcard, but as we know, that does not mean the rest will go nearly as smooth.
Yeah, right. And that's exactly why we're trying to keep this door open for both of these teams as wide as humanly possible. Because when it comes down to it, especially with how the defenses go on Cafe, when you hit that side swap, you really never know how things are going to go. Yeah, you might have been dominant in that first half, but how are you going to fare now that you have the problematic side? And to start things off, it's not exactly the greatest of straits. They're going to lose a round. Now, they do have some nice padding for this, obviously. They did have that 2-round buffer, so they'll be able to figure things out, hopefully, in this next round and start off this offensive side on the right foot. But Space Station have to be glaringly aware of the situation that is building upon itself over on the defensive side for Wildcard, because if there is any way to take this in regulation, this is definitely the way that Wildcard was looking to do it.
Win on Kitchen will definitely tell us if Wildcard are going to be able to defeat the trend that we saw on their attacking half. And Merc back on the solo, as we talked about,
10
or at least we
seconds
saw from SSG, very disciplined on all of their bomb sites, holding their positions. Some players playing loosely, hot and cold on that Solus, definitely being an example. But I will say, despite the presence of the Solus, they generally would stick back to Cocktail Balcony on roams, on Kitchen as well, kind of stick to their positions. Wildcard are known for being a bit more fast and loose than Merc. Oh, he is not worried at all about going into this half with a 2-5 score line. Trying to get the spawn peak over on this side of the map. Oh, the ice cream chunk just hides him a little bit. And unfortunately, that player now on drone. Is Merc gonna wait here? There's no way he wants the spawn peak that badly, right? I mean, listen, I know it's Merc we're talking about, but I just don't believe it. No, he's been shot at. He surely leaves now. There we go.
I was gonna say, you're doubting Merc? Out of the two people in this game, I'm like, they're definitely peeking. It's probably him, Foltz. Honestly, there's a lot. There's actually quite a few.
Listen, I'm not doubting Merc. I'm just believing in sense.
There's no such thing as sense in Rainbow Six Siege unless you're talking about the operator sense. That's the only sense that we have when it comes to, you know, doing anything in this game. So, Space Station won't even have that though. We'll have the common variety, hopefully, as they haven't lost a body just yet, but they have lost quite a few drones.
Yeah, down to 6 drones, and even at this point, if you make good use with the remaining ones, it won't be the end of you. I mean, the two players that are out drones are Yana with a clone and Foltz with Inox scans, so still intel aplenty for the attack, but now Merc creeping up those stairs. He has even his score line, or his KD, in 2 rounds now, at the very low cost of about half his HP, maybe identified, but I doubt Merc cares about the intel in his position. He might even feel emboldened by it at this point. Take the advantage in between pings to surprise attack the attack. Ashen has worked himself into a nice position, though, not to look at the Solus, but to cut off the Jaeger Adams rotation inside of VIP. So if SSG move down the white stairs and pressure that position, they do have a good setup to maybe even this 4-4.
They're cooking their way too full. So much damage. He's gonna get Packer. Ashen's gonna get Merc. Wasn't paying attention to brown stairs. Ashen, very well aware of the scenario being presented to him. He knows the entire setup like the back of his hand. Not only that, but also him having to be the player for SSG that actually sits in that position over inside of VIP. Isn't that right, my friend? So Ashen very aware that, hey, somebody will probably be playing in this area. Picks him right off as he peeks. Surf, a lot of damage coming in through the verticality. And the other issue, bad news bears for him, his location being called back to the rest of the team. Spirit seems like he knows where one is. Angle being held from J90. Can he get it on the pre-fire? He was looking for it, but doesn't want to flirt with disaster just yet. 27 seconds remain, and although it does look dire for Wildcard, they do have enough health and enough gunpowder to be able to get through this. Don't know if it's going to be dealt with past that, though, and that's the problem, right? I wanted to see if they would deal with him properly, and they definitely did that, didn't they? Frag grenade out will handle the angle, and Space Station will handle the round.
I mean, like, come on, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is about to be some insane fanboying, so you're just gonna have to bear with me real quick. Like, so I saw Ashen get picked up on SSG, and I saw they were having a rough time through the first couple playtests. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't think it's an Ashen problem, but all right. I don't think people really know what this kid can do yet. Look at that round, okay? Look at that round. Merc gets the kill on hot and cold to start things out right. 5v4. SSG, don't get me wrong. They're not like completely shut out, but they're struggling a little bit to move back up. They haven't cleared out VIP. They're going for a freezer drop, so that's something they need to do, whether it's kill that guy, deal with that position, whatever. They got to do something about it, right? And so Ashen creeps down brown stairs and recognizes that the Jaeger isn't really playing that aggressively to look at the long bar. He's really focused on the white stairs. So he reads that as a prime opportunity, as you'll see right here, to creep in a coat check. And what does he find? His support in long bar. But he doesn't push for more, my friend. No, he does not. His eyes don't go red to hop in a coat check. He says, you know what? I've just killed his support in long bar. He's probably going to do the smart decision and check brown stairs to see if I have my back turned. And what does he do? Turn around, get the kill, and then, of course, nade the guy close freezer as well. That's just great game sense on a rookie, and there's a reason he's 11-6 leading the scoreboard right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's all in the motions, right? You go through enough repetition on any of these maps, you kind of just have that natural cadence of knowing X, Y, and Z, and that's exactly what Ashen presented right there. X, I know that Brown Stairs is free. Y, I know that Merc is around here somewhere. I kill him. And then Z, the last guy's got to try and swing me to try and recoup this moment that I just made for myself, right? And every single one of those things came to fruition. Practically clairvoyant. If you would have seen that just like, you know, an off chance and you didn't really know anything about Siege, you'd be like, man, this guy's got to have some like inside knowledge as to what's happening, right? Nope. He is just that damn good, man. And there's a lot of Siege players like him. That's the beauty of Siege, is like there's just so much strategical depth that if somebody has that big brain knowledge, they can simply know what you're doing just by existing in the right place at the right time. So very well done from him, and a great moment there from you, Lynx. Thanks for pointing that out, man.
Yeah, shout out to me just like fanboying over a player for 45 seconds. I really did a lot. I did a lot of rough work right there.
Everybody deserves a little fanboy every once in a while, you know?
Listen, it was first Gunner when he made the league. Now it's Ashen. There's always got to be a rookie that I have to be like, this is the guy, guys. I promise. Like this is the world breaker right here. This is the final boss. Either way, plenty of veterans in the lobby too. Hot and Cold also having a very solid game for SSG so far. Might not be a super impressive scoreline, but the moments he had on the defense were very, very nice and very impactful for SSG's chances. Here on the attack, he's trying to deal with the White Stairs position and clear the way for Forrest. Not having a great game, but he's trying to recover. Nobody on the Palace position, unfortunately, but he's reached a very tight angle to look into Cocktail. And that one kill, very impactful, as that has basically almost entirely acquired second floor control for SSG. It's forced the Wildcard players back, and now at a 5v2. Full vertical established. Wildcard very firmly on the back foot. Now likely forced to retake top floor eventually with the White Stairs completely cut off. The attacks from SSG, again, after that first defense, have been excellent.
A fully blinded man on White Stairs will go down. Ashen properly beating him down, and Space Station adamantly take the round. Fantastic.
Where was this
good.
team?
Lynx, you took the words right out of my mouth, my friend. Where was this team? Because
where has this team? I'm sorry.
Last week, this was not what we were getting. You want to go off? Go off. Go off.
Like I was about to say, like, listen, I need to let you finish, but like, where has this team been? Where has it been? Because I love what I'm seeing. I love what I am seeing. And obviously, like, you know, I talked about Ashen and he got the opening pick that round, whatever, right? Like, that's cool. That's fine. But look at that coordination. Look at that clear. That is the SSG we have not been seeing, but they have had the potential to be this whole stage. Look at this. They have the Whitehall completely shut down. They've got Hot and Cold on the rappel to make sure nobody can flank up and support the Pallets guy. Ashen gets the first pick. Forrest pushes all the way up, holds the angle, cutting off the guy playing by the Cocktail balcony. What do they do then? They double swing the guy on the hatch, and they don't even need to get the kill because they pushed him back, because that clear worked properly. This is the SSG that, when they're operating at their ceiling, can beat the #2 team in the league, formerly #1 team in the league up until this point. Excellent clear on the top floor. I love what I'm seeing from SSG.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just to put the icing on the cake for that with the initial setup, right? Because the strategy was amazing, but what I really want to highlight there for that was the fact of like the distraction protocol that they had going on for Cocktail, right? They get everybody over on that side on window repel, so much noise happening across the map, and then we switch cameras over to Forrest, and where's Forrest, Lynx? He's at the top of White Stairs
He's walking
from
up.
Christmas, because not a single damn Wildcard person is worried about anybody moving in from that portion of the map. And that's why Space Station, or rather, well, that's why Space Station won the round, but rather why Wildcard lost, because they were so hyper-focused on what Space Station were doing over on White Top that they completely forgot that, well, there's other people on the team and they can still be doing things across the map too.
SSG have me standing up in my office right now. That's how excited.
Dude, I can hear the energy in you right now.
That's how excited they have me after this round. Like, I'm literally like, I'm smiling over what might be a 7-3 right now. Like, you know, that's how you know we're watching some good Siege. Is I'm like, oh boy, 7-3, let's go, boys. This is, I mean, this seriously. In the rounds Wildcard have won, they've been very impressive as well. But SSG has just been the better team. They've been more disciplined on their defense, and they've been more coordinated on their attacks. Now, obviously, Wildcard have taken their time out. They need a flawless site rotation to bring us to overtime. And again, they're already in playoffs, but it's more to stop SSG's chances from pushing for a contest for that 6th placed position to make it into the deciders. SSG are going with that full clear again. It hasn't been perfect on the attack, no, but their entries have been there, and the follow-up has been there as well so far from SSG. they're in a very good spot if they get this initial bit of control and an opening pick to convert this into that 7th round they need.
Absolutely. Now, the one thing that I do want to touch on before potentially SSG finishes this and we get sent off to the desk, SSG, I mean, Spirits has something to say about it, right? At least slow us down for a little while. But Space Station in this iteration of the roster with the backstaffing that they have, this is what we expected out of them, right? You don't have a coach like Callout, you don't have players like Fultz, like Hot and Cold, like Forrest, all on this squad to have this team be lackluster. In fact, this should be one of the best teams inside of North America, especially if Ashen is capable of what he's doing right now. You have, I mean, so many just hallmark names that have stood the test of time in NA and have been on multiple different iterations of rosters. There is no reason for you to be performing poorly. And now it seems like they've kind of found themselves, which fortunately enough for you and I and everybody at home, that is a great thing. We love Space Station, we love that org, we love these players, and it's always good to see them playing well. Wildcard still with a chance. They did have a pickup earlier on Jane, I know. We're down to the last minute now, and another one will happen on to Fultz. So looking like they might be able to elongate this a little while longer on this kitchen defense.
Yeah, and to Wildcard's credit, I mean, the strategy has been there as well. Opening pick achieved in the round by driving a yokai drone out the bakery door to find JNNO on that rappel, and then Fultz is shut down 1v1 through the floor. I mean, that's going to happen sometimes. So Wildcard, they're still individually in it. But, well, that's a bummer. Forrest, I think, lagging out, unfortunately. And Ashen, 13-6 perhaps, but is effectively indeed. Oh no, actually Fultz gone too. A lot of people lagging on the side of SSG, I suppose. Ashen's not though. Ashen's here.
Smart man too. He's gonna sit right outside the truck. He's like, I am not affecting this KD. You are completely bent out of shape if you think I am taking a fight with anybody right now. So fantastic from him. I mean, really smart. Play things out. Some extra time to see if we can get these players in here. And unfortunately,
nice shot.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. And wouldn't you know it, it's Merc. Of course it is, right? He's basically got the old ACOG on that SMG there, so we'll be able to take him down outside the truck. But I'll be around there for wild card. 2 more to go. Actually matters for the site.
I don't care. I hate
I don't care. Screw that guy. He's getting paid to spectate video games.
No, I'm just kidding. I love Easy.
I love Easy too, man. Great guy. Great
very
guy.
tall.
If you guys ever see
tall.
Stefan at a LAN, make sure you give him a hug. Tell him that
he would hate that. Do not give him a hug.
No, please do. Ask him if you can give him a hug. I'm sure that he would really appreciate that. He's a very personable human being. He likes talking to people a lot. That's what I heard.
Horrible,
you can tell from Lynx's laughter that I am 100% being serious with this. Anyways, Wildcard going to be sending this to the heavens, Lynx. We're headed towards the top floor.
Ah, I see what you did there. Very clever of you. I'll have to see if they come down.
You can take that one if you want to. It's okay.
Actually, I've got a Google Doc written with all your clever segues. I've written every single one of them down so far to use in the future. So I'll just add that one to page 34.
Write that down as the first time anyone's called me clever.
I noticed I didn't say clever. I just said I was writing it down.
Oh, okay. All right, bud.
Yeah. I'm quick too. Don't worry.
We'll see how quick you are in this round here. SSG, though, not going to be as much. I think they're going to be pretty focused on this one, huh? Trying to make sure that they can close this down before it gets to max regulation.
Also, Ghana shifting hands to J9O. Ashen bringing up the Capitao instead. Still an operator. He will most certainly be able to get some very nice plays on if he's positioned accordingly. As you said, it is on the top floor, so with those smokes, you easily cut off a lot of swings from that cocktail position, a lot of angles that if you want to push in from Cigar would be useful. That's also assuming SSG want to go that way, because there is not just one, but I swear to God, it might be the entire team on the rappel momentarily. There's still one guy on the roof. It's just 4 people on rappel, though. Very minuscule number. All of SSG prepping for a very quick cocktail take, but a C4 will force Hot and Cold back for just a little bit. All the utility flying in, the smoke bolts, and likely fire bolts going down too. SSG will get 2 kills extremely quickly, but Spirits has a long angle inside a Cigar to stop anybody from rappelling into the heaven window. Skylight Sam. Maybe when the next action happens. No, it's a full rotate. That is actually insane level of discipline. Oh my God.
I actually can't, man. This is wow. thoroughly impressed by what we're seeing from Space Station right here. Not only, Lynx, were they capable of setting up their entire take for that side, but they made it seem like a rush. All of Wildcard responds. They're now going to kill their third person from window repels, Lynxifer. And they're probably going to take this round because of it. This is a strategy and a half. Shout out to the backstaffing for Space Station yet again. Shout out to Call Out. And shout out to this team for implementing it in such a beautiful
it's Jover.
frickin' way, man. God damn it, Space Station Gaming. You are so frickin' good at video games. It is mind-boggling sometimes. They take it to Wildcard Links in a fashion that I don't think you and I ever thought that they were capable of walking into this.
Oh no, and the playoffs still very much, the hope's still very much alive for SSG, but that's for the desk to talk about the implications of this match. We'll throw it back to them after this short